Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria. And today we are going to be doing a end of the year book tag video. I had not heard of this until I saw Murphy go ahead and post hers earlier this week and discovered that this was another book tag similar to the mid-year freakout, but much shorter, and it was created by Ariel Bissett, whose link I will go ahead and put in the description box along with Murphy's video as well. But it's just 6 questions kind of helping us round out Q4 of the year and maybe get set up a little bit for 2025. I don't know whether to be in an existential crisis, existential dread, or be super excited. I haven't decided yet, but we can definitely still talk about books. So I will make sure to put the 6 questions down below in the description. So if you want to join in and let me know your thoughts for the mid-year book tag, I'd love to hear them. But without further ado, let's hop into this little nugget of a video. First question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? So I am in the middle of Dead Witch Walking as we're filming this, and I do want to finish that first book. I have 6 other books in that series from Kim Harrison, but I don't know if I necessarily intend on doing like a full-fledged, like read all of them before the end of the year, because there are quite a few. So I don't know if I would count that. I'm talking away from the camera, so I don't know if I would count that. Okay, I have 2 potential books here that we've not talked about that have been on my shelf for a long time. So let's go grab them. 2 very different books that I have picked up previously. I didn't start them this year, but I have picked up previously and then just never finished them. And 2 very different stories. So the first one is Under the Tuscan Sun by Frances May. I absolutely love this movie, which the book is nothing like the movie essentially. Like the premise is kind of the same, but not even. This is more of a memoir about Frances, basically her buying this house in Tuscany and them remodeling it and the things that she learns, the recipes she learns. So kind of more of a memoir, whereas the movie with Diane Lane, that's been out for a very long time, she ends up getting a divorce in the very beginning and then goes on this trip to Italy and just sees this house and makes a quick decision, makes a rash decision, what's the word? There's a word for this, but she makes the decision to go ahead and buy this like old, decrepit, falling apart, beautiful manor kind of house in Tuscany and try to rebuild it, and then thus rebuilding a new life for herself outside of the one that she had with her ex-husband. So that is what the movie's about, not what the book's about. So I've tried to finish this book multiple times and I'm not. So I think I would like to finish this book possibly this year. And if not this one that's probably a little bit more up my alley in terms of typical genres. This is On Such a Full Sea by Chang-Rae Lee. And it's kind of like climate change has pushed people into different cities and stuff like that. And so this kind of takes place in Baltimore-esque area. And our main character, Fawn, is a young girl who's, you know, in the lower echelons of the society, and her boyfriend disappears. And so she decides to find him. And this takes her like on a quest through the dystopian world that she lives in. Kind of what the vibe is. I think I only read like maybe the first like 10 or 15 pages of this book, and it sounds like something I would really enjoy. A little bit more lit ficky than I usually get into, not as fantasy, but still like those elements of that. So I would really like to pick this book up. So I'm gonna say one of these 2 I would like to actually complete before the end of the year. Next, Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Yes, I do. Now, currently I am doing a whole like spooky kind of witchy vibe for spooky season, but I did pick up a book on Hoopla that I thought would be a great transition into more just general autumnal vibes. And that book I had heard about from multiple people because a lot of people have been reading the second book in the series, and there have also been quite a few people reading this book at the moment, and that is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore, which it's basically a grumpy sunshine, small town, cozy romance kind of vibes, and like the look of it is super cute. I feel like even the name just seems great for that time. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna read this one for, I don't know how much to say. I don't know if I'm gonna love it. Again, this seems like a romance book, but it's free because it's on Hoopla and it's an ebook, and I figured it would just be a good transition in leaving the spooky-esque scene and then moving more into our autumnal vibes. So I think it'll still work. It'll be a nice little palette cleanser kind of situation. So that is the book that I'm choosing for that. Whether or not I like it, we'll see. Question number 3, is there a new release you're still waiting for? Yes, and this one is a pretty recent one. So I had mentioned, let me grab the first book. So I mentioned in September during the autumn equinox of the Magical Readathon that I read Full Speed to Crash Landing by Beth Revis, and absolutely love this book. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, really had a great time. Well, found out after I read it that the second book in this trilogy is coming out December 4th, and that is How to Steal the Galaxy. So that is a follow-up to this book. Gonna be, as Jan would say, another shorty patorty. So I am really looking forward to it. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So excited. Another one that I actually had in common with Murphy, but she didn't have it listed for her, well, she did kind of have it listed for anticipated new releases. So the other one that I have in common that Murphy was talking about is The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. And I think that's the only other one that I'm kind of looking for that is a new release that I haven't already picked up that I'm interested in reading possibly this year. Okay, so question number 4. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Okay, so these are besides the new releases, I'm guessing. Ooh, we've out of focus. I would like 3 books I would like to read before the end of the year. I would like to read Bookshops and Bone Dust. Okay, so trying to pick some different books than the ones that we just talked about, but 3 books that I would like to read before the end of the year. The first one is the final book in the Mirror Visitor series, which is The Storm of Echoes. And if you watched some of my earlier videos from the beginning of this year, I was obsessed with this series and then kind of cooled off. Really enjoyed the third one. And then some people were saying that this one was just like not the same vibes as the other 3. And I think that kind of put a damper on my mood for reading this. So I've just been kind of putting it off. So I think I'd like to finish this series this year and be able to reflect back on it and see if I feel the same way, because thus far I've thoroughly enjoyed these books and thought they were fantastic. So I'm hoping I won't be super disappointed by this book. The next one I got in a book box that sounded interesting and it had pretty good reviews is Of Wicked Blood, the Courtriel Chronicles by Olivia Wildstein and Katie Hyos. And it seems to be a romantasy with the two perspectives. And seems to be kind of an enemies to lovers situation. And I don't know, I'd like to get in another romantasy. I haven't actually read any of my book box books, so I'd like to at least get one read this year. And I think of the ones I've seen reviews for thus far, this one might be a good contender for me. So I want to give this one a shot, I think. Last one, which I picked up and I've been putting off reading. I guess I just haven't been in the mood, but I think will be a great autumnal vibe as well, is Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree, which is the prequel to Legends and Lattes. If you've seen my vlog from DragonCon, I actually dressed up as Tandri, who is the main character in Legends and Lattes. Unfortunately, she's not in this one, but I would love to go ahead and meet some more cozy characters in here. I've heard this one has a little bit more adventure and a little bit more, you know, more plot, not just vibes, not just making coffee, compared to Legends and Lattes. So I am curious to see if I like it more, if I like it less, if I like it the same. I want to know. Number 5, is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I don't know, but I do have 3 books on here that I did not already say that I wanted to read, that I do think I could possibly really thoroughly enjoy. So the first one is The Last Animal by Ramona, freaking stickers. Ramona Azabel, by Ramona Azabel, which is about a mother and her 2 daughters, and they discover this woolly mammoth who they unfreeze, like it's frozen in the ice, and they thaw it out and it lives, and then they're trying to save it. Something like that. Sounded interesting. Also, this woolly mammoth is just adorbs. What is on this? Something got on this book. So it got wet. The other one that a lot of the booktube girlies have talked about, and I have still yet to read, but I have on my shelf, is Monstrilio. I have heard so many people really like this book. It's not like my typical read, but I'm curious to check it out, and who knows, maybe it could be a contender. And then the only other one I could possibly think of being like a new favorite for the year is maybe Strange Beast by Susan J. Morris, which is like a dark academia with Dracula and all of that kind of stuff, which kind of sounds like my vibe. So maybe, but I don't know. I don't really know what makes my book like my favorite book of the year until I know. You know what I mean? Okay, and number 6, have you already started making reading plans for next year? No. If you have thoughts, if there's a series you want to see me go through, if there's maybe some more classic female authors you want me to read, try to embody vibes in, let me know, because I don't have any ideas thus far. No, I have no clue. No stinking clue. No plans. Okay. Well, that's it. 6 little prompts. I've got books stacked everywhere. I'm gonna have to put them back on my shelf. But those are the 6 prompts for the end of the year book tag. I would love to hear your responses to these 6 questions. So I'll go ahead and put them in the description box as I mentioned. So you can feel free to let me know. Or if you have some opinions on some of the books that I threw out there, I would love to hear that as well. And again, if you have ideas for me for next year, help a girl out. But I'm gonna let you go. I hope you enjoy your Sunday or whatever day you're watching this. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you want to stick around for some more bookish and nerdish content, I upload every Sunday and most Wednesdays. And until next time, I hope you read a good book. I hope you find some joy. And most importantly, I hope you do something to make the world a better place. And I will see you in my next one. Bye. Like this, like this, like this.